Welcome back to the MODUS Super Series, where that man in your picture, Johan Bauer, is about to play his second match of the session up against Alan Norris. Both players victors in the first round's worth of matches. And before the break, Steve West got the better of Carl Sneed by 4-0 to round off the opening salvo on this Thursday afternoon. So what are we going to see from this pair? Bauer looked good at times, but Alan Norris really provided a standout performance of round one, an average just under 97 in beating Barry Copeland by 4-2. But I suppose the big question is, it always is here at the Live Lounge, when you kick off a session with a good performance, can you back it up?
We didn't even get the answer to what happened with rock, paper, scissors there.
96.
One had rock, one had paper, and everything got confused after that.
$81.
I think Bauer's going to feel really, really good about his start in this secondary group, but he's got to keep it going.
And I suppose the lurking question with Johan is, he expunged so much energy in his first game against Paul Milford. The big question always will be with him, can he keep those levels as high as that without running close to empty for the duration of the day? Well, it looks like Alan Norris has found a very good level and is going to stick with it.
60.
I think it's fair to say that both players are in the same boat. They've had a great start. They are almost noted for
80.
their energy levels and their exuberance, you could say. But even 5 games of best of 7 is difficult to maintain that kind of energy throughout. Now, Alan's already gone back to the pits.
121.
Was that an early celebration for a 1-2-1? He loved that, didn't he? I've never seen anybody celebrate a 1-2-1 that much. Get that guy on Strictly. Because if he does a 1 and a 2 and a 1, he's going to be all over the place.
Could you imagine him as a motivational speaker for yourself? Just to motivate you in the morning.
100. On your car, 80.
Well, he has a spring in his step, quite literally, but Norris looking to win leg one. He's going to get a dart at top to do exactly that.
60.
Couldn't find, and so Bauer comes back for 80.
Your opponent couldn't do it, but can you? It's almost as if in his bloodstream there is so much going on that he can barely contain it.
60.
Same result as Chuck. And I think his improvement going forward, it is solely based on how he behaves
16.
and how he manages this obvious innate energy that he's got.
Getting shot on the first leg, Johan Bauer.
Johan Bauer won leg one, in case you didn't know.
Second leg, Alan to through first.
Well, if he keeps doing this all week, we're going to have to release some sort of compilation album of his best gifts of the week. Just keep us waiting, Johan.
Game on.
Fascinating stuff. I have seen players come and go over the last 15 to 20 years. I have never seen anybody like this lad.
He's still doing it. I can already hear the tap away of the keyboard from our social media team with the phrase, most exuberant darts player ever, question mark, explanation mark, question mark, explanation mark, and a couple of fire emojis.
Well, if we're being honest,
85.
Is there anybody else who has shown this kind of energy on a consistent daily basis? I'm not sure there has been.
Not here.
45.
I think the closest comparison, and it's not really a comparison, Johan Bauer makes Richie Burnett seem mellow.
Let me put this into real terms.
85.
Johan makes Dirk van Dijvenbode look like Dennis Ovens. Dennis is the most placid, stone-faced player that I've ever played against.
125.
And Dirk is one of the most vivacious. But I swear to you, sitting in my seat with my microphone in my hand, I have never seen a player like Johan before.
95.
Who genuinely cannot contain the amount of enthusiasm and energy that he's got going through his veins.
He's so excited and he just can't hide it.
70.
He's never going to walk onto that because it's not
96.
hardcore.
Well, Norris look at a 96 to level up at 1-1. Treble 17 will be the location of dart 2. Or at least the intended target of dart 2. And
39.
then double 17 was the intended target for dart 3. Leads himself 57 upon his return to square this contest up.
What he's just done is really smart. Think about it. He had 74 with one dart left. If he goes for a 14 and gets a single, then he's going 20 tops with a dart in the way. This way, he guarantees having an open tops, even though he still has to burn the shot of the single. I think that was really clever. Bravo,
shot of
Alan.
the second
I think
leg.
what you've
Alan
just done
Norris.
is next level thinking, and it has not escaped me. That was brilliant.
So like Johan
A well-laid plan and a
Game on.
well-laid execution. And Norris levels up at 1-1.
That was board management at the elite level. It's not just about how to leave a finish from
97.
299 or 315. It's sometimes about the small numbers and making really good decisions. That was Alan Norris, in my opinion, at his peak, doing the right thing in the right moment.
96.
He looks in very good nick at the minute, doesn't he, Alan Norris? And that was the question mark we asked. We've seen him do some really good stuff for the World Seniors Tour over the last couple of years. Has
41.
gone deep in a number of events there. But the nagging question has been, can he fight on the Super Series stage where he hasn't quite had the success that maybe we
100.
expected he was going to have when we've seen him here in the past at the Live Lounge.
Well, the last series was all about Sweden,
81.
wasn't it? We've seen a lot of Swedish success over the last 12 months with Östlund, Tingström, Harrison. Well, Sweden's efforts are not finished yet in this series because Alan Norris is
49.
fluent in Swedish. He may not be Swedish, but we could still get an acceptance speech in Swedish.
Well, put it this way. Alan Norris has appeared in every single MODUS Super Series, but has
32.
only qualified for a finals night once. That was in Series 3. He got to the semi-finals that night. That was a night that was won by Mike Warburton in the end. His first appearance actually came in Series 1, Week 12. That was that
81.
Legends Week that we had here at the Super Series. You actually played in that week, but you two didn't cross paths because Alan Norris was in Group
60.
C and you're in Group B.
Yeah, Chris Mason was in Group C as well, wasn't he?
Well, Chris beat Alan 4-2 in their first meeting. Their other meeting.
95.
As one rapidly types. The
140.
other meeting saw Norris beat
180.
Mason 4-3.
We are looking at 80 again, but a very different way. And it
Game
works.
shot of the third leg. Alan Norris.
This is what we mean by feisty. If
Fourth leg,
someone
Alan does
starts a
first.
scrap,
Game on.
there are players in this group who are not afraid to give it back. Norris, West, and I think probably the one person who might not is Milford.
41.
We'll have to rename him Paul Mellowford. Well, I suppose you can't start a fire, and you can't start a fire without a spark, and Johan Brouwer's provided the
81.
fire, and, well, he'll just cheer after every single dart.
You might be just tuning in right now thinking, is this AI trying to recreate Corey Cadby and Gedwin Price from the World Series finals from a few years ago? Well, we're not too far from it. It is boiling up.
95.
One player celebrating an 81. we can say that we have got some of
60.
our close friends watching this afternoon as they get ready for things like the Challenge Tour and other things around the world. Good luck to everybody who's playing in Hamilton this weekend. The New
95.
Zealand Darts Masters will kick off tomorrow. Interesting draw with Simon Whitlock taking on Damon Heta on neutral ground. But we have had a communication from James Richardson, who's
100.
getting ready for his weekend, having a bit of a practice. Good luck, James. All the best, and we'll see you soon.
I'm sure he'll have half an eye glued on
100.
Portman Road on Saturday as Ipswich Town get their Premier League campaign underway against Arnie Schlott's Liverpool.
More importantly for James, if he's seen the John
100.
Part
Alan
video
O'Carr, 170.
of him coming out of the lake announcing his place at the Barbican, you're next, James. We need something like that. Saying that you're going because we know you're
105.
going there.
Johan O'Carr,
So-
160.
It's all on you now. And it's all on Johan. And things might go nuclear if he hits this.
Another one of them.
Your guess is as good as mine.
125. Alan O'Carr, 65.
Well, this for 3-1. And if I'm Norris, I'd recommend you take this because if Brower brings it back to 2-2, you will hear the cry of the Dutchman.
Sensible there from Norris. He wasn't comfortable.
25. Johan O'Carr,
Just didn't
35.
quite get the feel right of that dart. The first time or the second time.
Ear defenders at the ready. Because Brower wants double 16 to square up at 2-2. He's giving her a good old stare down, isn't he? I don't think Alan's too pleased in the background mind.
Game shot on the fourth leg. Johan Brouwer.
Well, Brower is
Big flag,
boiling
Johan,
up
for
and
first.
Norris
Game on.
gives him a good old stare. He is not happy one bit.
If looks could kill, he'd be on the floor. The words of the brilliant band Heart.
60.
But what Johan doesn't really understand at the minute is he's making himself a target. And you may have just poked the Rottweiler.
180.
Norris for a second thought, do I give it some? Norris not even looking and acknowledging the fist bump from Johan. This is boiling over.
I absolutely told you so. As soon as he hit that, he was never going to reciprocate.
60.
So what you got to do is, if you're Brower right now, is just play darts.
I wonder what would happen if Norris hit a 9.
99.
Think about the era that Alan is from. He's played with some of the BDO greats to the nth degree.
60.
The Buntings, the O'Sheas, the Fittons, the Waltons, the Kings, all of these kind of domestic players and the international players as well. He's played with
92.
thousands of Dutch players. In his era, there was an etiquette that you just didn't break. And he still believes in that etiquette.
60.
And right now he's
O'Carr,
thinking that
130.
etiquette has been broken and he's not going to go out of this game without a victory.
Oh, double 5. Just asked Paul Hinks just to double check whether it was in or not. That one goes
120.
high, but he will come back for 3 more because Brower's nowhere to be seen.
Well, I'm the person that said that his board management earlier in the match was elite. I'm not sure
81.
about that
Alan
one.
O'Carr, 10.
That was very aggressive.
Now, if he wants to, he could split
Game
2
shot
double
on the
4, but
fifth leg.
decides to
Alan
go
Norris.
double 5 first time. And that's a 13 dart breaker throw for Alan Norris.
6 leg Alan to
Who-
third first. Game on.
Has been severely annoyed by the antics of Johan Brower. And he's one of those players that if you really rile up, can provide some good stuff. You won't like Chuck when he's angry.
140.
So you're saying he's like the Hulk. When he was staring a hole through Johan, he was like General Zod.
180.
What Alan is doing right now is very clever. He's not getting involved. He's almost drawing a line in the sand. And he desperately doesn't want to lose this game because he wants to show Brouwer that these reactions don't get you anything.
59.
Does it also show a player that's in good form in Alan? Because maybe if his game wasn't in the best place, it could have been easier for him to get drawn into this.
Absolutely. I think that first performance
45.
of the day has set his stall out exactly the way he wanted to. Almost a 97 average, like you mentioned. But if he walks away with 2 wins from 2, playing well, that's why he's here.
42.
And if he keeps his emotions in check and he gets those 2 wins, he's the victor, isn't he? And he'll almost feel like he's won 3 times.
Now, there was just a look in the background there. This really is boiling up. Johan's apologising in the background. Now,
60.
I've just had a look at the fixture sheet. Johan Brouwer's next match is against Steve West.
Yeah, well, Johan doesn't think he's done anything. Or if he has, he's apologised for it. But yet again, look at Norris. Eyes down
60.
on the game. That's what he's focused on at the minute. This is the way to do it. Don't get involved. Internally, he's probably boiling up.
94. Johan Ilkar 160.
Well, you can tell that he's annoyed about really letting it affect him.
It's not his first rodeo, is it? He's got to have 117 to win this match 4-2. And if he hits it,
94.
the end of this game could be really interesting.
And if he doesn't take it, Brouwer's got 66 to take us to a deciding leg. But Norris here, tops of the match.
77.
And grazes it for the win.
Johan Ilkar 66.
Now, is there another twist in this game? He knows how important this is. He's only got 10 games in this group to make an impression on that table. That's 27. And that leaves 39. He must not get this wrong.
I can guarantee you this. If Norris sets 3 at tops, I think he's going to get this. Just about in the single 7.
He's gone full Davis Schneider here. This is about a minute for 3 darts.
34.
And he doesn't find the
Alan
double
Ilkar,
16.
40.
And that could be curtains for this contest. Because Alan Norris is looking at tots for his 2nd consecutive victory. At times, it's been a bit ill-tempered. But Norris
Game shot
won't
of the
care
match, Alan
because
Norris.
he's got the 2 points in hand. Alan Norris gets the better of Johan Brouwer by 4 legs to 2. It was a game that at times was very, very tense. But it is Norris who gets over the line. He claims the 2 points, which puts him to the top of the table.